Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tech Loft Podcast. On this episode, we're going to look for some gaming news that we got, plus big announcements. We have PewDiePie. He's now signed an exclusive deal to YouTube. I wonder how many mega dollars that is. And just stay tuned. I got some stuff for you coming up. But first, a word from my sponsor. All right, folks, welcome back. And now, what do we got in gaming news for this episode? Well, it looks like modders have released a fully playable version of Super Mario 64 on the PC. Let's just take a look at this to see what details we can get. Or I may not have any details, but check it out. It's big news. Super Mario 64 PC port. It's rocking. For PlayStation, what do we got for PlayStation? A lot of people are talking about Secret Weapon for the release of the PS5. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a brilliant game. Pretty hot. I never played Final Fantasy VII. I've only heard fantastic things, and I guess that's why they're making a re-release of Final Fantasy VII. Looks good. Now, in other news, we have Last of Us 2, and it looks like this headline is running along the lines of woke and creatively broke. Now, let me see if I can pull up this article here. This is from RT News. State-sponsored news outlet, but because it's being on video games, I don't think we'll find too much bias. But you know what? Shouldn't be one to judge RT News since we have the state-sponsored CBC here in Canada. So everyone should just shut their mouth. Sorry to get a little bit political, but that's the way it is. Anyways, I'm just waiting for this thing here. Oh, God. Okay, so Super Mario 64. Just getting past a few of these headlines here. Last of Us. So, recent leaks from the highly anticipated video game Last of Us 2 have taken a lot of air out of the proverbial tires. The spoilers show a bland game that attempts to use a rainbow flag to mask a generic plot. Okay? Now, just a warning, this article will have zero regard for spoilers and analyze the creative issues of the game Last of Us 2 based on the leaks. When a disgruntled employee of development house Naughty Dog had the entirety of its plot for the upcoming title Last of Us 2 leaked onto 4chan, it couldn't have been worse for them. Already suffering from PR problems after stories of their working conditions hit the internet, what was revealed in the plot for the upcoming game was nothing good. The outline reads as a generic revenge story where the only real moments of shock come from the lead characters of the last game being murdered. Okay. Footage now pulled from the internet showed the character of Joel killed with a golf club, simultaneously pulling from Andrew Ryan's death in BioShock and attempting to reduplicate the shock of Negan killing Glenn in The Walking Dead. Okay. There are two main issues that come from the story as it is now outlined on the Reset Era message board. The first is that it takes a lot of beats from The Walking Dead's plot points, especially with the, quote, humans are the real monsters, end quote, and, quote, cycle of revenge, end quote, ideas. Even so, those messages aren't new in the zombie genre, which is true, which The Last of Us as a franchise falls into. Now to quote, there is nothing new under the sun, end quote, of course, but from what we're seeing of the plot, there's nothing interesting here either. It also doesn't help that the exceptionally talented writer Amy Hennig, who wrote much of the Legacy of Kain and Uncharted games, was let go from the company during development. It is speculated that Hennig may have had disagreements with the direction Naughty Dog wanted to go. What doesn't really help Naughty Dog's case is how they've focused on identity politics. Oh my God, here we go. Over actually quality storytelling. Oh, I just can't stand this garbage. There have been warning signs from the longtime creative director Neil Druckmann cited Anita Sarkeesian as an influence in his creative direction. Anita Sarkeesian is the head of Feminist Frequency, a non-profit that criticizes creative works for not being feminist enough and has zero experience in creating fiction. It is rumored that the female designs in the game were made less feminine so as not to offend trans women. The main enemies of the game are apparently going to be one of the safest kind you can pick, a fundamentalist Christian cult. Generally speaking, the safest bad guys in fiction are demons, Nazis, and fundamentalists. Nobody likes fundies except for other fundies. What's even worse is that people apparently don't like the new character Abby much either. All of this comes across as a major train wreck. When your creative lead's main character is being properly feminist or being a proper ally, the product suffers, especially when you say your game will be about hate. The lesson of half of fiction is hate is bad. Star Wars created an entire philosophy in this universe where hate turns you monstrous. It's not exciting. Everything about this project seems generic. The main enemies are the dullest thing imaginable without having them summon Satan and walk around in SS uniforms. The new protagonist is, quote, trans safe, end quote, and exists to kill off the old ones who people actually liked. This is turning into The Last Jedi of video games. And I haven't seen The Last Jedi. Naughty Dog's assurances seem pretty hollow. You can't really do anything to make a narrative-driven game tantalizing to gamers when the narrative looks so poor. The best way to summarize the plot is to compare it to a treehouse with the LGBTQ+ flag draped over it. Naughty Dog is trying its best to assure people that what's under the flag is great. But when you finally get past them and pull the flag down, the treehouse is likely rotten and termite infested. The fact of the matter is that Neil Druckmann was too busy worrying about not offending woke Twitter and the trigger-happy games press and not worrying enough about telling a good story that will make people want to buy this game. Trying to make your art inoffensive is a fallacy. You cannot please everyone. You cannot tell a story that no one will be offended by. If you try, you end up with tasteless mush. Were I in Druckerman's shoes, I'd prepare a lengthy apology to Sony, and to Amy Hennig, quit video games and go give bad life advice in San Francisco. That would fit him better than making anything that has to do with entertainment. Oh, well, so true. Now, what else do we have here in the news? Now, that's a game I'm not going to look forward to. Now, PewDiePie has also signed an exclusive deal with YouTube. That's what I opened up with in my opening here. Let me just find that file here somewhere. Just to remind everyone that this podcast is created in the driver's seat of my car, just because this is the only quiet spot I have at the moment. And great. Jeez. I can't even spell PewDiePie, so... Pie. Come on. Let's see if we can get this article out, because I'm running out of time. Jeez, the internet connection's so slow. Would it be faster with 5G? It'll probably be dead. Okay, so PewDiePie, 100. So the guy's been on YouTube for 10 years, 104 million subscribers, and I say he's got a pretty good gig. Now I've seen him on another streaming site called DLive. DLive is a streaming site, blockchain, cryptocurrency token site. So what do we got here? So gaming star PewDiePie has signed an exclusive deal to live stream on YouTube after switching to a rival platform in 2019. So okay, so we know he's got 104 million subscribers. He signed he signed an exclusive deal with rival platform DLive in 2019. So that DLive is what I was just talking about. Now Mr. Kjellberg said, which is PewDiePie, said returning to YouTube was a, quote, natural fit as he looked for new ways to connect with fans. The 30-year-old Swedish video maker began posting videos on YouTube in 2010. He found success playing and commenting on video games, posting daily videos for several years. That'd be a fantastic career. But in 2019, he announced he would no longer be live streaming on YouTube and would be instead moved to DLive, which promised better financial returns for its content creators. He gained 822,000 followers on the new platform. In January 2020, PewDiePie took a short break from making YouTube videos because he was, quote, feeling very tired, but he continued posting his regular videos on YouTube after his break. Streaming wars. The big video streaming giants have been battling to secure exclusive deals with popular video makers. Earlier this year, YouTube signed gamers Valkyrie Muselek and Laserbeam to its platform. In a statement, PewDiePie said new features played a part in his decision to return to live streaming on YouTube. And here's a quote: live streaming is something I'm focused a lot on in 2020 and beyond. So to be able to partner with YouTube and to be at the forefront of new product features is special and exciting for the future, he said. Of course, he had his controversial moments. Disney cut ties with him over allegations of anti-Semitism. And later that year, he used racial slur during a live stream. And PewDiePie apologized for the incident. Commenting on his return to live streaming on YouTube, the company said PewDiePie's previous comments were, quote, not in line with our values. Well, we all know what YouTube's values are. Anyways, folks, there you go. There you have it. PewDiePie returns to live stream on YouTube. Hopefully you enjoyed this podcast. It is a long one. We brought to you a couple stories here, and hopefully if you like this podcast, please subscribe and join us. Help us grow our numbers. Just trying to get out there, trying to get back on track, as you can hear with updates and stuff like that. Anyways, I gotta go. Thanks for listening, and ciao for now.